Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Drake got off to a bad start for the new year. He, streamers Adin and Akedemiks, and the online gaming platform Stake have reportedly been hit with another class action lawsuit, specifically a federal RICO this time around, for alleged illegal gambling promotions. According to Lauren LaRosa on Twitter, the lawsuit alleges that the co-defendants, along with George Wynn, have been using Stake's tipping feature to give each other money. The RICO accuses them of using that money to artificially boost Drake's music streams across major distribution platforms and digital streaming services. In addition, through Stake's tipping function, defendants have financed their combined artificial streaming, otherwise known as botting, to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music, fabricate popularity, disparage competitors and music label executives, distort recommendation algorithms, and distribute financing for all of the foregoing, while concealing the flow of funds, two plaintiffs reportedly alleged in the filing. Furthermore, the lawsuit claims that the Toronto superstar knowingly and willingly allowed for his alleged co-conspirators to mass encrypted transfers as giveaways, widely unavailable to the public. In addition, it alleges one $100,000 tip transfer between Ross and the Sixth God in 2023. It also brought up Drake's 2024 Christmas giveaway stream with Adin Ross as an example of the co-defendants allegedly cycling through tips among themselves to fuel botting and paid engagement tactics. Not only that, but the lawsuit reportedly mentioned a $220,000 car that Stake allegedly gifted Ross days before the New Year's Eve filing. LaRosa stated that she reached out to the boys team for comment and hasn't received a response as of writing this article. The lawsuit appeared in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia, according to Casino Beats. It accuses the co-defendants of promoting an illegal gambling operation and seeks $5 million in damages. The report also identifies the plaintiffs as allegedly being Lashana Ridley and Tiffany Hines, or Stake.us users within the U.S. in the filings. Drake received a similar lawsuit in New Mexico and Missouri last year. He actually did a stream giving away part of his Stake earnings just mere days ago. I'm trying to really figure out, how is this a RICO charge? I mean, this sounds like a civil lawsuit to me. I can't see an angle for RICO if Stake has to be registered with the SEC. I can see how that could be a federal case. But I do not see how they're going to be able to sue Drake, because we all know that Drake is not, pulling the strings behind the scenes as far as like dealing with what goes on a day-to-day basis with his, with his accounts, right? Let me back up. Maybe he's pulling the strings. Maybe he has that power he would have that power to pull the strings, but I can see him not knowing what the people who are actually doing the work are actually up to. His bottom line is results. Am I getting the results? We making money. We got users. What's the problem? So it depends on if his people behind the scenes are using unscrupulous tactics, illegal tactics, to get those numbers, and they're moving money around. So that would depend on their direct involvement, but I can't see how they can drag Drake into this. As you know, Drake filed a very public lawsuit against his record label, Universal Music Group. Some people are speculating that Universal has a hand in this RICO case. They're saying Universal got something to do with it. They're making the comparisons to the Diddy case, where Diddy maybe upset some corporate people. Some people say it had something to do with the liquor company that he was doing business with. I personally don't believe that. I think Diddy got popped because Diddy started that political group. Let me tell you something, fam. Alcohol is one thing. Having some dealings and falling out with your alcoholic or your alcohol business partners, that's one thing. When you start a political group in the United States of America and you get those numbers in the area of 2 million plus members, like Diddy's party was, I forgot the name of it, something black party, but if you start having that type of power, you gotta really, really move with your head on a swivel, because that's where the real juice is. When you can command 20 million people, when you have access to 20 million people's choice, and whether that be a choice to vote this way or that way, or to believe in a particular ideology, you can actually promote kindred spirits. You can give people a platform. 2 million people for anything. That is a lot of people. And that's a lot of power. And if you use that power against certain people, that could be a major problem. So I think that's where Diddy's problems really come from. I think it came from doing that political party, because he had been flexing on the liquor company for a minute. At the end of the day, that's just money, and that can be ended by them just saying, you know what, well, we're done doing business with you. We divvy up the profits, whatever. You go your way, we go our way. Cool, no problem. But you start talking about the political game, that's different. Politics, it is the dirtiest. I know a lot of us, we focus on entertainment a lot. We always talking about how horrible entertainers are, how they have no soul. But you have no idea how this politics thing. Politics, oh man. You better be ready. If you step into politics, you better be ready, because they are coming for you. If you did something in the kindergarten that you do not want exposed, do not run for a political office. Do not do that. They're going to find out. I'm telling you, I don't know how they do it, but they find out. They got the best snoopers out there. They'll find out. If you did something, you got away with it, you think you got away with it when you was 18, when you was 25, before you decided to go into politics. If you're doing something now, if you're living a double life, they're gonna find out. You got a chick on the side. You got something on the side. They're gonna find out. They will find out. So you want to be very careful when stepping into that political realm. Even if Drake was guilty of that, and I'm not saying he is, of course, but even if he was, Drake ain't going to jail. Drake is not going to jail. Drake is a billionaire, and, he linked up with them people. He tied all the way in with them people, man. I think that's what gave him the audacity to file charges against his own record label. Universal Records is the biggest record label out there, point blank, period. And the power that they have, fam, I don't think people really understand how much power record labels have. Record labels the size of Universal, they're tied in with the hotels. They're tied in with the stadiums. They're tied in with the arenas, the theaters. They're tied in with the city. They're tied in with credit card companies. They're tied in with the school districts. radio stations, television stations, record labels the size of Universal. They got a lot of power. And even some of them, even the ones that's not the size of Universal. If there's a record label out there that's getting in excess of, let's say, $50 to $100 million, that's a lot of power, fam. That can buy a lot of favors. So I don't see anything happening to Drake. I think right now, Drake is just going through a rough patch. I think he'll be all right. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.